Yo guys, welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Hope you're having a good week. Of course, football is back, Premier League's back, La Liga came back. I've been enjoying watching football. Obviously, you know what time it is. It's time to discuss Inter, and the Serie A is finally back after the Coppa Italia disappointment last weekend. But we move on to Sampdoria this weekend, to the return of the Serie A, finally return on the pitch, return to the 3-point format. But first of all, I want to talk about a couple of bad news, unfortunately, that we have to talk about. First of all, today the news came out that Inter legend Mario Corso has died today. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the Inter all-time greats, obviously well before our time. He was in his late 70s. He was considered to be one of the all-time Inter greats, and one of the best left foot ever in the history of football. Apparently, he was credited to have created the knuckleball before everyone else. That Juninho, Ronaldo, and them created it. So condolences to his family and friends for that. And obviously we have the bad news of the injuries of Sensi and Brozovic. Today I want to focus mainly on Stefano Sensi's injury, our little Sensiesta as we call him, the Italian Xavi, however you want to refer to him, the guy who came and lit up Inter to the surprise of many, to the surprise of me as well. But ever since September, October, we just haven't seen him on the pitch, because of various injuries. And it's always the same injuries. It's never been a particularly serious injury. It's always been a niggling muscular injury, and that's exactly what's happened again. The reports coming out that he's strained his thigh, or he has muscular fatigue in his thigh, in his right thigh, and I think that's an injury that he's had a couple of times already this season. And clearly, I expressed my worries at the start of the season whether he would be able to keep up with these kind of physical demands that Conte team needs. And yeah, it's clearly showing that his body isn't up for it, because you just have to look back. Whenever a player signs, the first thing I like to do is go on Transfermarkt, and on there you can look at a player's injury history. And with Sensi, you can see in every single season that he's played, he's never played over or started more than 30 games in the season, and that's just his history. He's at Sassuolo, he was one of the main players, but he still wasn't able to start those matches. So it wasn't because he wasn't first choice. It's just he's always had these little niggling injuries and issues that have plagued his career. And yes, happening at Inter, and obviously, especially I'm quite active on Twitter, and the Twitter sphere was just blowing up with people saying, "Oh man, this guy, just leave him. Why are we even signing him? There's no point if the guy plays like 10 games a season." And I want to know your comments actually before I offer my opinion in the comments down below. Would you sign Sensi C or Sensi no? And let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. But yeah, my opinion on the matter is, I don't know if you guys might have seen my tweet. I compared Sensi to like a classic car. You buy it, it's just so nice to look at, it's so sexy, you want to show it off to your friends, you want to take care of it, you polish it. When you drive, it's a nice drive, and then you start to have these issues, the carburetor goes, there's a leak, and then you have to take it to the mechanic, and the cost spirals up, and you're like, is it worth all the hassle? And for me, Sensi is exactly like this classic car, and I think, yes, he's definitely worth the hassle. We saw the first 2 months at Inter, that August, September period, he was probably the best player in Serie A, the best player for Inter. What he adds to the team in terms of technicality, smartness, movement, vision, it's just, only Eriksen now has those kind of capabilities in the team. And for the price, so reportedly we've paid 3 to 5 million for the loan. And then to make it permanent, the reports say that it's a 20 million fee. So in total, 23, 25 million for Sensi. To me, in the modern market, I think that's peanuts. That's hardly, that's not a ridiculous price. That's how much we've paid around about. That's how much we paid for Gagliardini. We paid 24 million release clause for Vecino. We paid around that price for Lazzaro. It's just a normal price for a player these days. That's like you say, average cost of a player is about 20 million euros in the Serie A nowadays for a decent player. And Sensi is much more than decent, but obviously injuries bring him down a lot. And I think Inter, if we are going to sign him, I don't know if think there's a gentleman agreement there for the option to buy, that we have to make it an obligation. But if we can negotiate those 20 million down to at least 15 or something, that would be perfect. But for me, I don't really have that many doubts. I think hopefully, it's just unluckiness as well, coming back from this 3 months of inactivity. Brozovic has got injured as well. He's not a guy that usually gets injured a lot. But under Conte, we've seen that a couple of times this season. He's got injured as well. He is a demanding style of football. It's a demanding style of training. So Conte deserves a little bit of criticism there. Pintus is, the mythical figure that we've created around Antonio Pintus, the physical preparator that Antonio Conte has appointed for Inter. Clearly there's something not quite right with the workload, whether the players are struggling to adapt to it, I don't know, but it definitely needs revisiting, especially if we're going to keep Sensi for next season. Maybe put him on like a lighter load. He clearly can't handle the same intensity as other players. But for me, as I said, I think we should sign that guy permanently. And obviously for Brozovic, he's going to be a big miss for the Sampdoria match. So we can swiftly move on to the preview for the Sampdoria match on Sunday night. It's at home, but it's not really at home because there's going to be no fans. And we've seen from the Bundesliga, from the Premier League, from the La Liga, the home factor doesn't really count anymore because there's no fans, and there's nothing extra to carry the players or help the players out. So it's kind of like it's almost like neutral ground now. So we can't count the home match as an advantage. But Sampdoria, they're lingering near the bottom of the table. Ranieri's kind of tried to do his magic. It's worked in periods, but it hasn't really. He tries to play this very basic standard sort of 4-4-2 formation or 4-4-2 diamond. They're quite conservative under him. They're not as expressive and expansive as they were under Gianpaolo last season. So I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting the same lineup as we had against Napoli pretty much. I think the biggest doubt is whether to start Sanchez or Lautaro, because obviously we've seen Lautaro Martinez. He needs to wake up, boy, because you're not at Barcelona. Barcelona haven't agreed anything with us yet. It's the clause or nothing, or 90 million plus a player. They're not getting anywhere near that. So forget about Barcelona. Focus on Inter. Sort yourself out, mate. Because we still need you. We still have a quarter of the season left. We still have so many matches left. So many matches coming up. The schedule is crazy. The next 3 or 4 weeks is going to be matches every 3 or 4 days. So we've got Sampdoria, we've got Sassuolo, a bogey team, Parma, Brescia, Bologna, Verona, Torino, Spal, and then finally what you could consider a bigger team is Roma on the 19th. So all of those matches for me, in theory, on paper, there should be 3 points, but obviously we know with Inter and we know with these teams being able to frustrate Inter, they can grind out results. But on paper, and especially with this elimination of the home factor and the crowd, some of these smaller teams sometimes can get gassed by their crowd, and then they can get this extra motivation, but none of that is in play anymore now. So it's a level playing field, and from what I've seen from most matches in this period, the superior teams are just able to take these teams quite easily, especially in the Bundesliga. We saw like Bayern Munich and Dortmund, Leipzig are able to beat these teams very easily now because they don't have all these extra factors that usually help them. So I'm expecting the same for Inter. The performance against Napoli, as I said in my match review, I wasn't disappointed with the performance. Performance was decent, especially considering they were 3 months out. There was no proper preseason friendlies in place. So if we could perform like that, where we dominate the possession and we create chances, we created chances, maybe not enough chances, but we definitely created better chances than Napoli, more chances than Napoli. I'm confident that we can win. Hopefully Lukaku's coming up with better fitness, because he looked a bit sluggish. Obviously his physique requires a bit more time to get used to it. Looking forward to seeing Eriksen again. Hopefully he starts again. I want him to start 2-3 games so he keeps getting integrated with the team. Conte in the pre-match conference said he feels like he's fully integrated in the team. He's got used to the Italy, obviously, because he had that quarantine period in Italy where he kind of had to get used to it. Hopefully he learned a bit of Italian as well. So with Brozovic's injuries, it will be interesting to see who starts in midfield. Obviously, if we play this 3-4-1-2 formation to accommodate Eriksen, we don't need the Brozovic. He wouldn't be playing in that regista position. He would be playing as one of the two behind Eriksen, which usually one of them alternates. Is not usually the same. With Brozovic always has to be the deeper one. So I think Barella will be the one that takes the responsibility to come deeper and try to spray the ball around, and it will be interesting to see who starts. Looks like it probably will be Gagliardini, I think, starting there, because reports are also saying that Vecino has some injury issues as well, so he might not be fit for the match. So it looks like it could be Gagliardini, who, you know, seems like he's good in that Genoa region. He always scores against Genoa, but also last match he scored against Sampdoria. You know, going back to the last match as well, Alexis Sanchez, that was a match where he exploded for Inter, or probably one of the only few matches where he really showed his talent and potential at Inter. But, you know, in the Napoli match, he definitely looked, you know, better than Lautaro. So personally, I would start him ahead of Lautaro, but, you know, I know Conte loves Lautaro and he probably wants to keep faith in him, wants to keep playing him to show that, you know, he wants him to stay, make him an important part of this team if he doesn't go to Barca. Who would you start? Would you start Lautaro or Sanchez? Let me know in the comments below. On the wing backs, I think same wing backs. Candreva will be there, hopefully better decision making. I don't want to get into that again. I think Ashley Young will retain his place, even though, you know, he had an okay game against Napoli. I think Biraghi came on and played better than him, but I'll probably rather see Young still start and carry on. In defence, it'll probably be same players again. Maybe Godin could come in and rest De Vrij, who had a bit of an injury issue at the end against Napoli, so we'll see. But overall, I think pretty much the same team will be out there, apart from obviously those injuries, as I mentioned, to Brozovic and Sensi. But I'm confident for a win. I think a 2-0 win for Inter. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Obviously, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you for the post-match review, which hopefully will be a win.